Welcome to the run portion of the clinic. Today I'm going to go through the blocking scheme. I'm going to go through how to teach the players the rules for who to block in what situations. And then I'm going to go through both of the backside of the play blocking options so that you have options depending on whether you have a mobile quarterback or not. And in part three, we're going to go through the pass options of this. So you'll get to see, like, if you do or don't have a mobile quarterback, there's different options you can put in, different wrinkles with this to make it work based off of your personnel. So the first thing we want to go through here is just the front side of the play. So pretty simple. The tight end's rule is always block down on the defensive end. Okay, doesn't matter if he's head up. You still try to hook him, turn him to the inside, block him down. So we're blocking back. Since the guard and the tackle have the same rule. If there is somebody to their inside gap, they block back. Okay, so as you can see here, the tackle, the right tackle on this look here, has somebody in his gap, the 3 technique. So he's going to block back. Okay, we'll go over the different fronts and if they're head up or whatever, but for right now we have a 3 technique, so he's going to block back. Okay, your guard is going to wrap to the first strong color, which would be the Sam backer. Your center is going to wrap looking inside, usually ends up being the Mike. If the Mike gets caught in the wash, then he'll just work up to the safety. Okay, your backside guard, there are 2 options. Okay, if the nose guard is athletic and overly aggressive, I would go ahead and read him. Okay, so let's just say the nose guard is an athletic kid, or maybe he's just a slow kid and he's just going to stand there, which could also be another scenario. But for right now, let's just say he's a quick little kid and he likes to chase the ball, right? And you know that. Okay, your tackle is going to work to the buck backer. Your left guard is going to kick out the defensive end. Your quarterback on the mesh is going to keep his eyes on the nose guard and he's going to read him. Okay. If the nose guard closes, okay, he's going to pull it and run to daylight. Okay, if the nose guard comes upfield and stays in his gap like he's supposed to, then he's going to hand it off. Okay, so that's option number 1. Very simple. Here's a clip of this one in action. This is UCLA 2021. Okay, option number 2. Now we have it. I just put a couple different fronts in here just so you could see the rules are the same no matter what. So on this one, we're still going to block back. We got a 3 technique. We're going to block back. We're going to wrap. Wrap. Now let's say for whatever reason you want to read the buck backer instead this week. Okay. Here's what would change. We're going to try to scoop the nose. Okay, and that doesn't usually happen. What usually happens is he walls him off, which is fine too, because he shouldn't be able to tackle that guy running as fast as he can sideways, right? So all that's going to do, if your nose guard does go here, it's just going to widen the hole for your quarterback. We're going to kick out. Okay, so if you notice, everybody's blocking back except the guys that are pulling. The nose and the left guard is scooping the nose. If the buck goes on a gap blitz or something goofy, he's flowing with the ball. Whatever reason, he disappears, you pull it and run to daylight. Okay. If the quarterback reads him and he stands there, we hand the ball off. And again, there's pass options off of this. We'll get to those in the next part of the clinic. New front here, and I've seen, after 20 years, I've seen every possible front gimmick, ghost, goofy defense you could possibly see. So I'm just going to go through some of the most common adjustments that we see. In this one, we got a head up defensive end. That's fine. His job is always block back on the defensive end, so he's going to try to turn him inside. Your tackle has a 4-eye now. Now this is a tougher block, but he's still technically in his inside gap, right? Guard's still going to go. He's going to wind up kicking out the Sam backer in this look most of the time. Your center's going to wrap to the Mike, first strong color, and then you have the same option. So if they're playing a 4-eye, I'm guessing that nose guard is probably going to cross face on the center a lot. So I would probably read him, just let him be wrong no matter what. And in this look, I would probably go like this. Okay, don't have to. You could read the buck same thing as the last look. You could read the buck and scoop the nose, which is also okay because, again, even if he is crossing face like this, it's still okay. You still got it either way, would be fine, right? Quarterback's going to reach, ride, and eyes on the read, whichever it is, either the nose or the buck backer. Another look here. Now we got a 2-eye to the backside or inside shoulder of the guard. We got a 3 technique to the right side. Now he's inside the tight end, but same rules apply. Makes that block easier for the center. He's not over top of him. Okay, just another front here. Same rules. Block back, wrap, wrap. You can either read the buck or the nose. Okay. Personally, I like reading the buck better. If you have a mobile quarterback, it's usually better to read the nose because the hole opens up. The blocking angles are easier for your left tackle and your left guard. That's 100% up to you and your personnel, though. If you have more athletic linemen, this is also probably the better way to do it. If you have, if you quarterback can throw the ball fairly well and he's good at reading that buck disappearing, then I would just say scrap the reading the nose ever and just always read the buck. So let me show you what I'm talking about. And we'll go over this in great detail in the passing clinic, but let's just say we're always going to read this guy. You can throw routes in behind him to replace him if he does disappear, and that's an easy read for your quarterback. And in this way, you're blocking the 2 guys that are closer to the quarterback anyways, right? And if he blitzes or whatever he does, then we can just replace him with the ball. But we'll get into more of that later. Okay, another front here. This front, we got like a 5-man front. Sam's walk down, heavy 5. Same rules apply. Block back. He's head up on the guard, so that's up to you, depending on how athletic that tackle is. Since he's head up, you could say that the tackle's going to go. It makes things time up a little bit better. We do this week to week, so if we get a head up look in the middle of the game, we always count them as a 3 technique and we block back. But if we have time to game plan for it and we know that they're going to play with a head up tackles most of the game, then we'll just use the guard to block him because this is a better angle and it happens faster for that guy and this guy. Okay, so and then again, if he's head up, I would just scoop here, right? It's easy to do, and we'll read this guy and replace him with the ball with either the quarterback pulling it or a route in there behind it. And again, we'll go over all that stuff in the next one. Okay, and before we wrap things up here, I'm going to take you to a little piece from inside the actual iCoach members area. We're going to go, this is actually pulled from our full system install. It's just one little, clip from inside there. There was no point in me remaking the whole thing for this, so I'm just going to go ahead and show it to you. So some of the verbiage and stuff, like with our play call system and whatnot, disregard that for now unless you decide to join our membership and get access to all that stuff. But while you're watching this, just look at the key concepts and the adjustments and whatnot are the important thing, not necessarily what we call things. If you want the full system install, like I said, just click the button below the video and you can join us inside iCoach. Okay, so let's dig into it here. We got nose, tackle, and we're going same front. This is a wing T concept. So we've got veer concepts, we've got gap scheme concepts, wing T concepts. That's what makes this offense so explosive and kind of really difficult to stop, is because there's so many things that can be done with, to our kids, they're the same as something else. Okay, sweep. The buck sweep has simple rules. So we're going Griffey on this one. We're going to the right, okay? Here are the rules. You have to have a tight end. You can't run Seattle without a tight end or be in a bunch set. So I'll go over all those things. Just give me a minute. So here's our tight end, which means we're also going to get an extra backer here somewhere, okay? We're pin and pull, okay? So tight end, this is the only time the tight end does not block the outside linebacker, is on Seattle. He's going to block down on the defensive end. Until the center, if you have a guy in your gap, so the 3 technique is in the tackle's inside gap, he is going to pin. The guard doesn't have a guy in his inside gap, so he is going to pull. The center is always going to pull, and they're both looking for first dangerous, right? So what usually happens, and this is a game planning thing. Like if 1 week the Mike backer gets there before, like you'll know those things on film, but usually we want to check inside out, right? So inside first, then out. So if it happens to be that the Mike shows up first for the guard and the center winds up taking the Sam, then that's the way it is, okay? The backside guard is going to try to take over scoop the nose, just get in his way so he doesn't disrupt the backfield, okay? And then we are going to hinge on the defensive end and don't let him through, okay? The read guy on this is the backside linebacker. Seattle, the routes are a slant and a speed out, okay? So also everything starts with an S. Seattle, sweep, slant, speed out, right? So there's your route combinations. You would have to call Seattle throw it, right? You would have to call Seattle throw it because it's an outside zone concept, right? So since it's an outside zone concept, we're trying to run sweep. We're reaching and ride the mesh. If the buck backer disappears, the quarterback can pull it and take off running, okay? If you don't have a mobile quarterback, you just make a rule that you're going to run stick on the backside of Seattle. Simple. That means the whole season, no matter what. And this could be a week-to-week thing, but whole season, no matter what. If you have a quarterback that is a pocket passing quarterback, just install stick, and that way, if he leaves, you just replace him with the ball, right? So slant and a stick route. Okay. Let's take a look at it when running it to the nose now. Okay, so now this time let's run it to the nose, which means our tight end would have to be lined up on the other side. Okay, so for whatever reason, the team kicks their front opposite the tight end, which some teams do. It's not, in my opinion, the most sound way to do things, but, you know, it could happen. We've seen all kinds of adjustments. I can show you some really weird, foreign, crazy, made-up defenses because of this play. We've had all kinds of crazy alignments, and I'll get to that on the next page when I start showing you some of the bunch stuff. But same rules. Down, because the tight end, this is Seattle. We are Lynch. He's blocking down on the end. Now the tackle doesn't have anybody in his inside gap, so he's pulling, right? The guard does have somebody in his inside gap, and the center always goes, okay? We are just taking over the 3 technique, making sure the end's not a problem. Now we're reading him, okay? And this guy, if he runs through, the ball's gone anyways. So he's going to go here, and we're going to block him. We're running a sweep, okay? So same as. All right, now let's take a look at some of the fun stuff here. So one of my favorite ways to run this is out of big bunch. Okay, so let's draw that up real quick. So my X would be here, okay? My Z would be here, and my H would be here, okay? So disregard them guys. So we'd be like this, okay? We've seen some crazy stuff. We've had teams, and you just follow the rules. So to our kids, you follow the rules, okay? We've had teams that line their defensive end up out here, 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 doesn't matter. The X's job is to block the defensive end. Now, most situations, he's inside. So unless you get this crazy outside the X, whatever, I mean, yes, we did see that. I'm not going to lie and say we didn't. We saw it. We just kicked him out, okay? And it hit tighter. So we kicked that guy out, and it hit inside of him. Not a big deal. Stupid solution because we just gashed and we beat the brakes off of that team, okay? So let's say you get this because technically he's not a tight end. He's standing up in a receiver stance. He's in the same split. He's still a yard split as the tight end, and from the Z there looks like a tight end. But what it does, and you can run it out of tray or big, depending on what gives you that better blocking angle on the defensive end. Okay.
his job, the split end's job, tight end's job, even though he's lined up at a receiver spot, is still, because he's line of scrimmage, to block down on him. Now watch what this does. So let's say we got a 3 technique, nose, and buck, Mike. Your corner is going to be out here somewhere outside of the H. You're going to have a safety here somewhere, probably one there, right? And then your Sam backer is going to be here, probably either jamming the X or off of him slightly, okay? So now watch what these angles look like. He's going to take most dangerous. He's going to fold to him because that's his guy and most dangerous. He's going to block down. He's going to wrap. He's going to wrap. He's going to scoop, kick out, read him. If you're pocket passer or whatever, read him. Tailback, boom, right? That's a great look at it, okay? And if you get a better blocking angle or you get the front that you want with tray bunch instead, or maybe they do want to line that defensive end out wide, that's okay. We'll just put the X on the outside and go trips right bunch. So the X is on the outside. So the beauty of going bunch and running Seattle is you can get that guy wherever you want, okay? Now, we will also toss Seattle. So we'll call flex and call Seattle right toss to give it a different look. We'll call, let me get a different color here so you can see. So same blocking, doesn't change anything for anybody else. We'll go regular flat back look, and we'll go Seattle Q lead and run it with the quarterback. I mean, there's so many things you can do off of this, okay? If you got any questions, I think that covered them all. If you got any other questions about any other looks or how to run it against whatever else, let me know. Please go watch the clinic on this I did first on the sweep read because I covered a lot of that stuff in there. Favorite formations for this are ace, tray, and big bunch. Okay, so ace, tray, and big bunch. And you know, when I say big bunch, that's my favorite. If you get a weird look, you might have to go trips bunch or tray bunch, just depending on how they line up. Okay. Okay, that wraps up this portion of the clinic. Go ahead and click the button to go to the clinic 3. If you're ready to join iCoach, just click the button below this video, get signed up, and you can get started today.